It's been a while, so you know what? It's time to do another tier list ranking. This time we're doing a WWE finisher tier list ranking, and we all, as wrestling fans, love finishers. Some of them are iconic, like the RKO, Sweet Chin Music, Pedigree, right? But then you have some ones that are, very mid. Then you got some ones that are really, really bad, right? So I'm gonna be brutally honest with these, rankings based off how I see it and how I view it. I definitely feel like my criteria is going to be just a little bit different than some other people's, because I think a lot of people, have the same mindset when it comes to a lot of the, these rankings. So I'm gonna do it how I see it. Before we start, please make sure to subscribe, like, share, comment below, and turn on the notification to be updated with all pro wrestling content right here on this channel, and to be updated when we go live every single Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern time zone for the No Name Wrestling Podcast. Man, we do allow the viewers and subscribers to come on the podcast from time to time to have friendly chats with us, friendly debates about pro wrestling and stuff. So make sure you guys come on and be sure to tune in and, have some fun with us. So if you also like pro wrestling content, you're at the right page. You don't want to miss all the updated content that I do, like these tier list rankings. And if you have other suggestions of other tier list rankings you want to see me do, let me know in the comment section. All right, so we're back again. Here we go, man. We're ranking these WWE superstar finishers. Some of these superstars are currently in WWE, some of them no longer. Some of them may be legends in their own right. So we have the elite, great, good, and mid trash categories always. Don't switch up the categories. Never switch up. Never switch up. So first finisher we're going to rank is the Attitude Adjustment, the AA, aka the FU for the OG Chain Gang John Cena fans like myself. It's an iconic finisher because John Cena's name is attached to it, and he's such a popular superstar in WWE history, so it's a famous move, but it's basically just a throw over toss move, and it's not really like flash or anything. It's effective. It's definitely effective. He's beaten a lot of freaking superstars with that finisher. A lot of people won a lot of championships with that finisher as well. But, it's definitely not elite or great. Definitely not in that option for sure. So, yeah, y'all gonna miss me with that one. It's definitely not up there. But, I wouldn't put it in trash either. It's not trash. It's between good and mid. It's kind of like 50-50, split in the middle, 50-50 if I'm being honest, man. It's iconic. If we're ranking these as iconic, it would be higher because of who does the finishing move and who's made it famous. But as an overall individual move, though, I'll put it in the good just because it holds a lot of weight for being iconic, because it's John Cena's finisher. It's not really like the most flashiest, but it is effective for his gimmick and stuff. So I'll give it his respect. I'll put it in the good category. It's a good move for him. Plus, growing up as kids from the era, we all was doing the FU, Attitude Adjustment, back in the day to our friends and stuff, or our siblings and everything. So it has an effect on the culture and the industry too. So Charlotte Flair Natural Selection. This is okay. Hold on. This is. I'm thinking about it now. I want to be honest with myself. Yeah, this kind of mid. I'm thinking about it. It's kind of mid. I was gonna say good, but then I really thinking about it. The move does look cool, but as like impact and everything, there's a reason she uses the submission move more, because I feel like that move just really isn't too impactful as far as a believable finisher. Like, she's beating people with it, like Natalya and others and stuff, but as a real effective finisher, though, I don't know, man. I gotta give that, and it shows off Charlotte's athleticism a little bit too, but I gotta say mid. I'm sorry. This is RVD, the 5-star frog splash. This is elite, if you ask me. RVD has one of the greatest frog splashes, if not the greatest frog splash move of all time. I would say Eddie Guerrero and Montez Ford, honestly, would be the two that I would put up there, if I'm being honest. Montez Ford has crazy bounce on his frog splash, and then obviously Eddie Guerrero has made it famous. I know Bart Gunn used to use that move as well before Eddie Guerrero and stuff, but When you think of Frog Splash, you usually think of Eddie Guerrero, RVD. So it's between usually those two. Like I said, Montez Ford has a great Frog Splash as well, but I'm gonna say RVD's is elite, man, because he was able to do this in like different rotations too. Like sometimes he would do it and he would rotate his body mid-air and land it as well. So he was always able to kind of twist it and make it a little bit unique from time to time. Liv Morgan's Oblivion, this is trash. This is terrible. Anybody who likes this finisher, I need a full explanation. I don't see how. I mean, this is a very trash move if you ask me. This would be cool if it was like a signature move, but I really think Liv Morgan needs to adapt and get a different finisher. But, it works for her, I guess. It's something that she does, so it's her finisher. I mean, she has the right to have any finisher that she wants. Just from a fan's perspective, it's definitely not something that it's definitely not something that I would use if I was a wrestler. It's definitely not something that I think majority of the fans really like either. So, Ember Moon, the Eclipse, elite, bro. When I first saw her do this, my jaw dropped to the floor. I was like, what the F? Like, I've never seen that. I had never seen that move up to that point. And the way people had sold it, the impact that it had, that was tough, man. That was tough. And it sucks that Ember Moon didn't really get the push on the main roster that she got it, that she could have got on the main roster that she got in NXT and stuff, because she was way more valued in NXT under Triple H than she was under Vince on the main roster. We know that, but her finisher though, the Eclipse, chef's kiss, man, chef's kiss. Victoria, Widow's Peak, man, this was a dangerous, effective move. Like when she hit this move, you felt like somebody's spine shifted in their back, man. You felt the impact, man. Victoria used to be raw with this move, man. I think this is great. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna put this in the great category. Our first option in the great category is gonna be the Widow's Peak, man. Like, when she hits this move, man, especially back in her prime against some of the top superstars like a Trish or a Lita, man, I don't know, man. Victoria is one of my all-time favorite women's wrestlers in history, and I feel like she's a little underrated, not appreciated as much as she should have. Maybe she came from a different era, like, obviously her era is the bra and panty matches and, the paddle on the pole matches, wrestling in, like, pools of mud and stuff like that, but I don't know, man. I feel like she could thrive a lot in this era. She was always really good at diving into her character work as well, man. Like playing the psycho sociopath character. She was really freaking good at that. And she had a banger theme song. All the Things She Said by Tattoo, bro. That's one of the top 5 greatest women theme songs in professional wrestling history. If you haven't heard it, YouTube it right now. Tattoo, All the Things She Said, bro. That shit was fire, man. That shit was fire. That finisher, though, I think it's great, bro. When she drops people and they land on their knees, the impact, like, of the ring and the commentator selling it and how the superstars sell, like, you feel like they back just broke, man. Stone Cold Stunner is elite. That's maybe the greatest finisher of all time for some people. I don't even have to elaborate on that. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's the Stunner, bro. It's nothing else but elite. Kairi Sane, Insane Elbow. Her elbow move is pretty sick. It is pretty sick. The Insane Elbow. That Insane Elbow, man. I might put that in great as well. I'm gonna say great. I'm gonna say great for the Insane Elbow. The Macho Man had a really good elbow. I think CM Punk does a very good homage to dropping the elbow as well. Shawn Michaels, obviously, but Kairi's elbow is probably like the most effective, if you ask me. Like her elbow drop is pretty lethal, I think, man. So I'm gonna say Kairi Sane's elbow drop is in the great category. LA Knight BFT Blunt Force Trauma. I'm not gonna lie, this mid, if you ask me. This mid. This finisher isn't one that, like, how do I put this? This finisher isn't one that really captivates me, really moves me in any particular way, if I'm being honest. I'm just keeping it 100 with y'all. Soul Ruka Soul Snatcher. I'm not gonna lie, this is elite. This is something I've never seen. I've never seen that move pulled off like that. Soul Ruka has yet to even get her feet wet in the industry of professional wrestling. She's super young. The sky is the limit for her. She hasn't even been introduced on the main roster in WWE's programming. But if you're not familiar with NXT, start to get familiar with it and look for the name Soul Ruka, because that Soul Snatcher move is gonna be like the new RKO version, like out of nowhere type stuff, bro. Because the first time I saw that, my jaw dropped to the floor. I couldn't believe it. I had never seen anything like that before. Like, it's very hard to create new things in professional wrestling, especially to create new finishers. And that one, I had never seen anybody do something like that before, man. So Ruka's athleticism is really top tier. She could be something like the next Charlotte Flair. What I mean by that, don't twist my words here. I'm not saying from a legacy perspective. I'm saying as far as athletic, perspective, like athleticism wise, Charlotte Flair, super athletic. I thought she would go down and maybe like the most athletic superstar for the women that we've ever seen. But this new class of NXT recruits that we got, man, Charlotte Flair, a lot of people are going to give her a run for her money, and so Ruka is one of them because her athleticism is ridiculous. I believe she did gymnastics and stuff too, so man, that Soul Snatcher is elite, and we haven't even seen the best of it yet because he hasn't even come on the main roster, and people maybe aren't too familiar with it like most of these finishers. But I'm putting it in elite because it's gonna be there at the end of the day. At the end of the day, when she's officially retired and done with wrestling, it's gonna be in that elite category because I had never seen anything like that, and that's one of the coolest finishers I've ever seen. Beth Phoenix, the Glam Slam. The Glam Slam is pretty sick, man. The Glam Slam is pretty sick. I'm gonna put this in the great category, man. Yeah, lifting somebody up, slamming them on their face. The one she did to Eve Torres at Survivor Series 2011, bro. Oh my gosh, from the top rope, that was pretty sick. But the Glam Slam, yeah, the Glam Slam is tough. The Glam Slam is tough, man. Beth Phoenix definitely was somebody ahead of her time as well. I think she would thrive so much in this era. Baron Corbin, End of Days. Fun fact, one of the most protected finishers, not only of this era, but of all time. There've only been a few people that are kicked out of it. I know Drew McIntyre did it at WrestleMania. I don't want to say he's the only one because I'm not 100% sure, but then again, Drew McIntyre might be the only one to ever kick out of the finisher. If you notice in Baron Corbin matches, he doesn't use that finisher much because, number one, he doesn't like to overexpose it, overuse it, and it's very protected where people aren't able to kick out of it much, you know what I mean? So Baron Corbin's finisher, End of Days, I think it's pretty elite, man. I think it's elite, man. That move is pretty dope. And yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Trish Stratus, the Chick Kick. I mean, it's a kick to the head. It's really a basic kick to the head, but it's iconic though because Trish Stratus does it. Oh, man. And she's giving the chick kick to Chris Jericho, too. This is back when they used to do intergender matches in WWE, man. Crazy times, crazy times. Oh, man. It's really a basic kick to the head, but it's iconic because Trish Stratus's name is attached to it. So I think iconic definitely has to play factors into it sometimes because certain finishers hold weight that way. You know what I mean? But it's fine. Oh, man. I'll say mid. I'll put it in. It's mid. I can't put it in good. I was gonna put it in that in trash and be very nasty here. Be very nasty. I was gonna put it in trash, but it is iconic. That holds weight. If it wasn't Trish Stratus doing it, it would be down here. The Phenomenal Forearm by the Phenomenal One himself, AJ Styles. Top Rope Forearm. It's an iconic finisher too. Do I put it on the same level as these though? No, I'm gonna put it in the great category. It's a great finisher. I don't know if I would put it on the same level as the ones up top. I feel like the ones up top are just more. I don't know. The Phenomenal Forearm though. No. Yeah. You know what? I'm putting it in elite. I'm changing my mind. It's elite. I'm thinking about it now. Very effective. Yeah. I gotta put that in the elite category. Sami Zayn Haluva Kick. This is one to me that it's mid. Sorry, it's a mid finisher to me. I mean, it is effective for what Sami Zayn does, but it's not really one that, like, it doesn't really move me that much. I don't know. The Cobra, this is trash. I don't care what anybody says. It's trash. It's a funny finisher because Santino does it, and it's a Cobra and everything, so he makes it work. But overall, as a finisher, come on, just keep it a bean. Keep it a bean. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's a trash finisher. A lot of people probably want that to be higher because it's maybe the most funniest finisher ever, honestly, by jobber slash mid card guy on the roster in that particular time frame. But it's it's trash. Bayley's Rose Plant, I'm not gonna lie, this is trash too, man. And Bayley is my girl, man. She's my all-time favorite women's wrestler. But no bias aside, the Bayley to Bayley finisher is better, and that's decent itself. But that Rose Plant, I hate that. I'm sorry, Bayley. I love Bayley, but I hate that finisher. It's just like, oh no, it doesn't look like a finishing move. It doesn't seem effective as a finishing move to me. I don't know. It's not hitting. It's not hitting. Kevin Nash Jackknife Powerbomb. I never really was a fan of his powerbomb like that. I'm gonna say mid. Batista has a better powerbomb. Undertaker has a better last ride powerbomb. I feel like there are other people that's got a better powerbomb move than the Jackknife. I don't know, man. The Jackknife just, I don't know. I'm just gonna say mid. It doesn't really stand out to me as like one of the best powerbombs. Like when I think of the powerbomb, I think of other superstars before I think of Kevin Nash's finishing move. Tiffany Stratton's moonsault. I gotta lie. Yeah, I can't lie. I gotta put it in the lead, man. And that may be, I guess, maybe a hot take for some people, but she might have the best moonsault I've ever seen. It's so pretty. It's so beautiful, bro. I mean, for her to be able to bounce from the first, the second, then the top rope, no hands, jump in midair with that moonsault, bro. It's honestly, it's the best moonsault I've ever seen, and she hits it clean every time. She may have had a couple of matches you could point out where she may have over rotated or she may have not rotated far enough or whatever, but I mean, majority of the time, 98% of that time when she's hitting that moonsault, it's right on the button. It's so good, man. And last but certainly not least, the WMD. This is going to be a hot take. We're going to discuss this. This is one of the most overhated finishers of all time. Honestly, this also might upset some people. I'm putting this in good. And that's going to shock a lot of people, but you got to hear out my explanation. I'm putting it in good. Yes, it's just a punch to the face. But you have to look at the man who's doing the punch. It's coming from the Big Show, who is a 7-foot+ giant. This man's hand is the size of most human heads. So if Big Show realistically were to ball up his fist and hit you full force, you're going to be knocked out. It's a believable finishing move because of the guy it's coming from. Not to mention, sometimes when you would hear the impact of that punch, like, man, like, Big Show's WMD, I feel like is so undervalued because certain people don't understand the concept of the finisher because of who it's coming from. If anybody else were to do this finisher, I don't think it would work that much, but it's coming from the Big Show. So when a Big Show does it, yeah, I can believe he can knock Mark Henry out like that. I can believe he can sleep Great Khali like that, or Jack Swagger, or Batista, Stone Cold, The Rock, whoever you put in front of him. He balls up that massive hand of his, and he's swinging it, and he connects to your jaw. Obviously, it's all storylines and stuff like that, but from a storyline perspective, he connects to your face with the size of his hand. Yes, you're getting knocked out. That's one of the most believable finishers I've ever seen, from a believable standpoint. And I feel like some people miss that cue and they miss that concept. Believability really plays a lot into finisher sometimes, especially when the person is doing it, which is why I have some of the rankings where I have them at. Like, everybody doing their finishers in the mid and trash, yeah, you could say they're believable by doing them, but maybe they're not most effective. Maybe people just don't buy into them like that. People believed, I think, in Big Show's WMD because of who it was coming from. And sometimes he got the oohs and ahs reaction from his WMD finisher. Like, when you heard that impact, people was like, ooh, oh, damn. Like, Big Show, man, I feel like that WMD, the weapon of mass destruction, doesn't get the respect it should. And that's probably going to be the biggest hot take of this tier list ranking, putting that in the good category and putting it above all the other ones that I have because of who is using the finisher and how effective it can be. I feel like a lot of people misunderstand that concept of the WMD and what that finishing move was meant to be. That's better than Big Show's chokeslam. I'll say that. That's Big Show's best finisher, if you ask me. The Weapon of Mass Destruction is a very basic finisher. It's a simple just punch to the face. But because it's coming from the Big Show and he's a giant, and not everybody can be a giant, so not everybody can relate to Big Show and how he lives. You know what I mean? Like, go Google the Big Show's hand. Google this. This is the size of my hand right here. Look at the size of my hand. I don't know if you all can see it well enough. This is the size of my hand right here. Normal average man hand, I guess you could say right here. Like, I don't have really a big hand like that. Google the Big Show's hand. And then come back to me. That man's hand, bro, is probably 3 times the size of my hand, bro. He balls that fist up, and he's swinging, and he connects to your face. He could kill somebody, honestly. Not even just knock somebody out. He could kill a human being, I believe, with this punch. Full force to your face. Yes, he could kill somebody. So, I think Big Show's finisher, the WMD, it slept on. And I went on a little rant right there because I had to, give my receipts and defend it, because I've seen a lot of people on social media always saying it's one of the worst finishers ever. This was trash. No. I think a lot of people are underestimating that finisher. That was a very good finisher, and it was a very believable finisher, no matter who he hit it on, because it's coming from the Big Show. Some people need to give that one its respect, man. That Weapon of Mass Destruction, yeah, that was like that. So I gotta put it in the good category, man. I gotta put it in the good category. Alright, and if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe and click on the video right here as you see to check out more wrestling content right here on the podcast. You can also follow my other socials right here, my YouTube. Click on that to subscribe, and click on the IG to follow my Instagram as well for more wrestling content that you probably won't see on this channel.